I mean, yes, it sucks if you get doomed, but you still
10
have some pretty
seconds
solid right
remaining.
clicking potential once it gets to the 20 plus minute mark of the game.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I
Might
think
even make him lean more towards the build that we saw from mid one, right? Going into the Shadow Blade before a Blink Dagger, just to enable that continuous source of damage coming through.
yeah, we saw Alacrity have some really solid performances on the Tiny and into matchups where it didn't seem like it was too favorable at all. So you've got some flexibility. Polaris gonna opt to go into the Void Spirit. They take the Abaddon. So that was something that I was at least theory crafting in my head to play with the Weaver, just to put a body in front. I think it's good against the Lion and the Doom as well. So now Polaris have a strong laning support that can eat a lot of the abilities
10
and
seconds
gives them an
remaining.
opportunity to go for a little bit more greedier of a carry here for Natsumi.
5 seconds remaining.
Do you still think this Weaver's a carry? Like, it can be, of course, but I don't know. There's something about it that just screams that this is a support Weaver for me. I feel like it's going to be pos 4.
Okay, so do you want them to pick their 5 here, guaranteed, so they keep that flex heading into the 24th?
I would say so, yeah. It makes the most sense to me. So what's going to counter this out fairly well? They got decent stuns. They've got...
Magic damage.
yeah, they got a little bit of magic damage and a little bit of deep push as well. It's not really a Wyvern game. What else could we look to see here?
Radiant team
Lich.
ban.
Templar
TA,
Assassin.
okay. So this Tiny, still not 100% revealed as to where exactly it's going to go, but the TA certainly is just a really solid lane matchup against the Void Spirit, unless Polaris look to do a little bit of a motivate trust switcheroo. Maybe run the Doom
10
into the mid with
seconds
the
remaining.
Scorched Earth, and look to put some pressure onto the TA
5
in that way, and then
seconds
put Void
remaining.
Spirit in the off lane.
Don't you just free farm that lane though? I'm pretty sure you, like, I don't think a Doom's going to offset the TA.
I don't think he's going to get bullied as much as the Void Spirit might.
Yeah. Well, they are now hefty physical. This could also be an in your dream TA safe lane. We still yet to see Southeast Asia really
Radiant team ban.
prioritize the TA in that role. I know South America liked it a lot, and we were seeing it a decent amount in Europe through the qualifiers, but there's a lot of flexibility. I mean, you could put the Tinies a 1, a 2, or a 4. TA can go 1 or 2. Weaver 1 or 4. Tied 5 or 3. Like, there's really a lot
10
that Galaxy
seconds
Racer can do,
remaining.
and for Polaris it's really just to switch back and forth from the Doom and the Void Spirit.
5
But
seconds remaining. Dire
they
team ban.
are looking for the Natsumi hero. They need ways to take objectives, which is the big thing. So Terrorblade's banned
Radiant
out.
team pick.
They get rid of Slark, just a good matchup versus the Tide Hunter in the lane.
What else is gone? Monkey King's gone already. Ironically, they were the ones that looked to ban it out there on Polaris. Wraith King. Are
They
there
could-
even any
can you
cores
Razor?
left? Yeah, it's not
10
a bad Razor
seconds
game.
remaining.
Don't want to use the static link on the Weaver, but
5 seconds
Tide Hunter,
remaining.
very squishy, super early.
But if you Razor, then I feel like you tied 5 and Weaver 3, and you just dodge that lane. Like, it's so much flexibility where we don't know where Galaxy Racer are going, so they might have to go for a bit more of an easier time.
A jack of all trades.
Yeah, and like, I don't know if you want to play Razor with Abaddon, because that 5 doesn't enable you to get kills. Like, I think you can go pretty greedy and play the late game with the Doom.
Dire team pick.
Better jug.
Okay. So it gives them a lot of hybrid. Doom is very single target, and the Luna's very mixed. So it's nice to at least have a lot of heroes that can solely focus down one with a burst, and it gives you ways to take Ancients. You were kind of lacking your
10
own little
seconds
flash farm.
remaining.
Galaxy Racer instantly into the
You may now
Dragonite,
select your heroes.
and we don't know what's going on.
All right, where's this Weaver? That's what I want to know.
Polar
Policy. Yeah, I think it's a Weaver 4. Yeah, called it.
Huh.
Bam. I want to know what skill build he's looking to go on this, because
On the Weaver.
yeah, because it's paired together with a Dragon Knight, right? So it's not like you're going to get some insane minus armor off against any target like you would with a Gush, for example. overall, a minus sum is insane, right? Like you've got Polaris and Tidehunter, you've got the Swarm on Weaver, you've got TA with Meld, and she's going to build into a Desolator as well. So towers are going to be very easy to take for Galaxy Racer as well as Roshan if they're able to win these team fights. And that really feels like that's what Alacrity is going to enable them to do. Again, he's been performing fantastically so far this tournament, and I think we could probably look to see it continue. You know, he's against an advantageous matchup, I would say, against Mac, at least super early on before the level 6s come out, and you're able to dodge out any kind of tower toss damage.
You just go dissimulate.
Yeah, but just 1 point. Actually, might not be too bad to max it out, actually, just to shove the wave out as much as possible, make sure you're getting up to that level 6 as quickly as possible. I don't think it's an Aether Remnant game.
Why do you not think it's Aether Remnant?
It's just like to set up for kills, and I don't think you've got kill potential against this Tiny in the laning stage. So the Resonant Pulse is going to be effective because of the physical damage that it's able to block, and you're going to have a core Tiny that's going to be swinging and that cleave damage hitting onto you, so there's value there as well as for securing range creeps. And then the Dissimulate, just like I said, to be able to get out of any kind of tower toss, shenanigans, and just to be able to quickly take the creep wave.
Well, it's going to be exciting to see how Galaxy Racer and Polaris can battle it out. Again, a very important series for either team as well, as we're getting to the later stages here of the groups. I mean, for either of these teams, they're currently sitting for Galaxy Racer in 4th. That's really off the back of the 4 wins they had previously. They were in 9th, and now all of a sudden they just accelerate their standings with that 4-0 day they had. Polaris are currently tied in 6th, but they're 6-6 map count, so they've still a lot of games left to go for them. But these are 2 teams that really feels like battling it out for kind of the last position to make it into the upper bracket. And I mean, we'll see what the odds are looking like at the moment. They're favoring Galaxy Racer $2.05 compared to the Polaris $4.89. And for anyone that is looking for any place to bet, then N1 Bet is the best place to do so. You can deposit with digital wallets and crypto to bet on the Pro Series Season 8 matches, and enter code BTSDota on bts.gg/N1Bet and get an exclusive bonus without any wagers. Then okay, how are you feeling about this one? I'm in general just excited because I feel like these are 2 incredibly high caliber teams, and Polaris is still coming into their own with this newly formed roster, and we get the bit more of the experience and the chemistry with how long Galaxy Racer have been together. So did you feel like there's a lineup that's a little bit ahead after the draft, or are you feeling like it's a bit more even?
I don't want to put any sort of words down for this one in particular, because we haven't seen the Weaver support just yet. I mean, I feel like the build that he's going to look to go for is earn maybe Spirit Vessel into a Aghanim Scepter, just to be able to provide a little bit of extra save for the rest of his team. So obviously you're going to have the Tidehunter for some kind of counter initiate, but if you're able to get a nice save onto the likes of, a Tiny who could be looking to make some pretty deep commitments, then it's going to be some decent value. It's just getting to that point. So I think maybe just getting one of each skill point there for the laning stage. He's going to look to use the Geminate attack, I'm sure, to try and harass out without, doing exactly this, drawing the creep wave and getting hit a few times. So I'm keen to see how Joker is able to pull out of this.
Are we going to have a bit more of a...
Screw it, Galaxy Racer. I'm going for the memes.
What are the memes? It's just the Weaver and the all minus armor?
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Okay. Well, I feel like there's going to be big issues with Radiant in regards to the armor. Like, Luna's okay because you're an agi hero, so your armor will stack up. But, like, Doom really... I don't feel like this hero wants to itemize armor. I feel like Nico would much prefer going, like, Midas, Blink, BKB... maybe you go Shivas and then Refresher, but I feel like there's going to be a lot of value this game with an early Refresher, just to counter out the Tide and maybe TA or maybe another key component. So...
And you mentioned it right there, like it was the 4th item that you mentioned. Those first 3 seem so core to a core Doom, right? And you're up against all of this minus armor before that, so if you're waiting until that point, you're probably going to lose a fair portion of your map.
which is very worrisome considering it's not just all of the physical damage you have to worry about, it's also alacrity with his Tiny. I mean, we've seen how he's been able to perform on the hero so far in the position too, and he should have a very solid matchup against the Void Spirit. They are two heroes that can, of course, make a lot of plays across the map. Do you feel like there's one that will have an easier time this game?
I would probably say
hold that
the
thought.
Tiny.
Umi might give up first blood up top. Nico's going to try and swing on over to provide some assistance, but Polaris nonetheless was smashed him down from afar, and he should still tick out. Unless these stick charges are enough, and it looks like they are.
He's even got the salve available for himself, so he's going to be able to stick in the lane very easily. I mean, it feels like it's definitely going to be an easier game for the Tide Hunter to rotate on. Actually, how did they get a kill onto CML?
He must have stacked up the bugs a decent amount. He went level 2 bugs, so the minus armor, I suppose. I think he's only got 3 armor on the Abaddon to start. Yeah, 3. Even that's a big Courier to lose. What's he got now? There's 2 oh, he's still got 2 Magos and a Salve, so at least he's still got some resources.
Yeah, Alacrity making any kind of rotations through the Luna. She won't have, like, she'll have decent armor, sure, but the HP pool certainly not going to be there. You'll have the Abaddon, of course, to be able to protect you, but then, you know, you just compare.
Top lane, Nico, back on In Your Dream. Scorcher should be enough to be able to tick through the refraction charges, but doesn't have the movement speed to stay on top of the Templar Assassin. It doesn't look like he does. And this gives ample time for Polaris to get some revenge as Boomy overcompromised his position, and we're seeing this position 5 Tide Hunter is doing a very solid job in the laning.
Maybe look to go for a little bit of a pull here. Off to the side. Yep, looking to stack that one up. Of course, you're a TA lane, so you always want to make sure that you're able to try and catch him. Jokam falling very low there. Nearly had the 4th Curse of Averna stack build in onto him, which would have caused his death, but instead, he's able to get out of there. Actually, he's changing it up this game. All right, so he's going... He's just leaning even further into that minus armor. So not going for the Urn of Shadows, going into the Medallion instead.
No, Boomy stuck around for a little bit too long. Mac probably not too happy with that, considering he just gave a freebie to his opposition in the mid. This is a very early 4-kill advantage for Galaxy Racer, and a minor net worth lead as well. So we see still continuing to shine throughout the laning phase like we see so often on this team, and we'll see Polaris, of course, do have opportunities to catch back up with their ridiculous net worth accumulation we can see from someone like a Doom with the Devour and potentially Midas on Nico, and of course the Natsumi Luna as well with the glaives bouncing around.
You're not getting that.
Decent job at harassing out the Luna, though, and means that Mizu's got the laning stage into a really nice spot for himself. Just able to, consistently farm there. And now that he's level 3 on Jokam, he's able to get that Geminate attack flying out towards the laning stage. It still has quite a long cooldown at level 1, but really poking and prodding is all he wants to do.
Do you feel like Jokam will commit into the Solar Crest?
I think this, if there's any game for it, it's this one, just because of all the minus armor that you've got. But, you know, I think Medallion plus Spirit Vessel and Ags is a totally fine way to go.
See the contention though for the power runes at the moment. So much emphasis from either teams to try and help out their position 2s. Unfortunately, it's going to go neither way. Blackready and Mac not getting too much love, but see, Boomy's level 2 at the moment, so the line is really going to need some place to find some valuable experience and gold.
It's leveled up to 3, so at least he's got that that extra little bit of disable with the Hex, of course, such a value point at level 1, especially for the laning stage. You know, you don't have the mana pool to be constantly spamming out your spells, so you're not worried about that 30-second cooldown. There's that stack being taken by In Your Dream, so he's having a good time to start the lane.
Top of the last hits. Going to be working on the Dragon Lance as the first item here for the Templar Assassin, and he's been getting a lot of space. I guess it has to be said, though, that Nico's been having a pretty solid time as well. 0 deaths, 37 last hits. He hasn't thought about the Midas until now, just queues it up, and he's got about 1100 gold to work with, so it will be a relatively decent timing here with the Midas.
In Your Dream just wants a little bit of information to see if they're going to investigate him as he tries to take this hard camp, but Paulson, in that meantime, with how the lane's gone, he's been able to stack up 2 triple stacks inside next to the outpost as well. So In Your Dream, he's going to retreat right back to there, look to farm that one up, and yeah, he's having a fantastic time.
And not only that, they've also got some stacks by the triangle that Yokam's starting to fulfill. Is more than content with leaving Mizu in this lane with how self-sufficient he can be. Still only 2 points in the Dragon's Blood, but Bracer, Soul Ring with the Wand, and this is a very farm-intensive lane. The Abaddon is not going to enable kills, it will just increase the survivability for your position one. Unfortunately for Natsumi, though, he was having a bit rougher of a time considering Mizu does have 16 denies, so yeah, all the lanes going very well for Galaxy.
Yeah, for sure. Just that's one of the effects of the Dragon Tail, right?
Nico? He's actually going to get ripped apart, my lord. The Gush is level 3, so he got 5 armor reduction and the Meld plus the Blightstone. They just tore apart the Doom.
That's the great thing about the Tidehunter. It's, you know, depending on what role you want to play it in, you can flex it around so much. You know, the Anchor Smash, of course, for the farming, Kraken Shell when you want to be a bit more of that beefy frontliner, and then, you know, the Gush to enable kills.
And we've seen that I think it was Dreammaker that have been liking the medallion on the position 5 Tide, but you won't need that this game considering the Weaver's going into it. So Paulson, he's already got 1300 gold towards the Blink. He's very farmed, 2-0 and 2. But they're going to bring some heroes down bottom. It's Alacrity that's currently smoked up at the moment. DD all along with that in the bottle. So Radiant are actually going to mirror this movement too. They're looking to join with Mac and Boomy on the Lion and Void Spirit. They're trailing forward behind the outpost here. Yokam might be the target. Alacrity's going to pop the smoke though. The Tiny's pretty tanky. 1600 max health. It's going to take them a while to burst him down. So it'll give ample time for Galaxy Racer to get nearby, but the quick silence, thanks to the Curse of Avernus, will stop the toss. And now, but the burst is not there as Alacrity will pay the price. The Ravage still nonetheless going to fly as Mizu looking for a rebuttal. He'll find it on Mac. They'll turn towards CML. There's one more right click. Will deal with the Abaddon, but the big issue is Natsumi then will have no protection afterwards as even In Your Dream is looking to show up to the skirmish down bottom. The Luna nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, and another kill for the side of Dire. This laning stage is starting to get out of control.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Well, back at TI9, this Tidehunter TA combination, it didn't work out so well because OG just decided to run at them, you know, constantly put them under pressure. You're very good if you're able to get a lot of farm on it. Galaxy Racer, of course, switching it up with the Tidehunter being in this position 5 role, but still, they've decided to counter it on a Polaris with, you know, let's farm into their farm and see what we're able to do with it. I just don't know how effective it's going to be because this does feel a little bit...
First Doom of the game dropped up top. It's just...
it's just a support.
Yeah, but I feel like you're okay with dropping that because they're not looking to fight, and it just gives him an influx of gold here. Like, I feel like Radiant are just really looking to farm as much as possible, and then maybe with Finger of Death and the Void Spirit they can get some pickoffs across the map, but I think Galaxy Racer is so aware that you just 5-man right now.
Yeah, why not? You've got the Dragon Knight with the 20 points in the Dragon's Blood, and you've got 2 points, so not mega tanky, but still perfectly capable to take a couple of those hits away from the tower. CML did a good job to pull a full 3
They're actually going to show up here. Nico and Max straight on top of the Dragon Knight. There's the burst being revealed here from Boomy's level 6, but In Your Dream still looking for his own revenge as he'll chase through Mac. Get some protection. One more right click is not enough as he can jaunt up to safety thanks to the Dissimulate. They lose the tower, nonetheless, getting a kill.
Cost of the finger though, and I feel like this is really a time where Galaxy Racer can look to punish as soon as the DK is back online again. Not the longest downtime of the Elder Dragon form. He got through most of it there through the initial push, and Well, you've even finished up the full medallion on Jokam, so he's sitting pretty. Looking to build into that solar crest for himself.
And it feels like the Weaver can de-push out the dead lane very easily. You've got, what, 6-second cooldown on Sakuchi. I think it's only 2 you need for the creep wave.
Yep. And we saw, like, in our time casting some Australian Dota, we saw Buzzkin position for Weaver. It worked at certain points, but I feel like that's the sort of competition where the punishment probably isn't quite as there as it is in the Southeast Asian region.
Well, that was the early Ags, wasn't it? We were seeing.
He would go like Maelstrom Ag so that he could be this like elusive split pusher, but you know, still able to convert into being that support role later in the game.
They haven't changed the Weaver Ags, have they? I know they changed a lot. No, so still the same.
I think the range is smaller than it used to be.
It's 600. I don't remember if it was any larger.
It was. It definitely was.
Yeah. We'll see. The game goes on. That could be really nice, in fact, versus the Doom, or even just if you can get off quickly before the Lion bursts with the Void Spirit combined, which I feel like is something Polaris are really going to look to take into a fight. You've got the capability for Nico to just shut out one hero completely, and then if the Lion and Void Spirit can combine together, and you can also just obliterate another. A lot of blinks though. This is the tiny blink now completed, along with Mizu's blink too, so they're going to look to try and reveal this. I wonder if they group up. Can they get an objective out of it? Looks like no one else is combined for this bottom tower.
It feels like they're in a strong position to look to potentially push you on Galaxy Racer, but they're just wanting to wait. You know, in your dream, he's so close to being able to pick up that Desolator that you don't want to risk it when, you know, you're in a position to have an incredibly strong push, which can then convert into that first Roche.
That's the big worry that Polaris have with, like, the margin of error, it feels like, with their objectives overall, including Roshan, is very limited. I mean, they're doing a good job at just looking to control kind of the top half of the map, and see Dire are pretty aware of this with their own wards. A freshly placed observer by the small camp of Radiance, and one further to the top side that's going to scout out kind of the small and hard camp area. But we've got a smoke on smoke. Looking to reveal the blinks. Who's going to get the start? Mizu will jump instantly on top of the high ground. They'll target down Boomy. CMO instantly will be able to purge this off. And now Mizu's in a bit of trouble here. He'll get some assistance, but now with the Doom committed on top of the backline, TA will need some protection. The rest of the team will give that to him, so he's able to retreat to safety. That's a big ultimate now wasted on Polaris, and I think you've got a reset.
It's got Blink, and now you've got the Desolator as well on the TA, so I think you're totally happy with that. You've still got half of the duration of the Elder Dragon.
You just Roche?
I think you do. There's nothing to stop you. Solar Crest, Swarm, Desolator, Meld, Gush. Like, this Roche is going to have basically no armor.
They might get Nico as another prize as well. Or they're going to see Mac. What do they want to drop? That might be an... Oh! Well, he's... Wait. I mean, he's dead. So that's... Apollo's like...
The full stop afterwards.
Oh,
the period.
Man,
okay. It just... It puts a statement on it, you know?
How much health has he got? Oh, it's not going to matter. It should all be gone by the time they converge. Well, cool pause timing. A bit unfortunate. You hate to see it. That's also giving up Roche as well. So in your dream, now with the Aegis level 12. Great timing, that Desert coming out.
Paulson, just the delivery service bringing the entire creep wave over to In Your Dream, so he doesn't even have to leave the safety of the jungle.
Yeah, Yokam's going to go into that Aghanims after the Solar Crest, so be a lot of survivability. And it's still only a 2,000 gold deficit. And the Doom is with this maxed out Devour and Midas, of course, keeping up in farm is top of the net worth, in fact. And it has to be said, I would believe this is Nico's best hero. I mean, we saw it literally just brought Execration to a major. And also with how he was able to play it through the TI qualifiers. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough, but he is definitely a beast on the hero.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
The all Galaxy Racer really need to play around right now is, like, I don't even think you need Ravage, right? Like, yes, you are lacking a little bit in stuns to be able to lock down these slipperier heroes like the Void Spirit, but the Dragon Knight, he's got the Blink Dagger, you know, pretty freshly picked up, so I think you're still going to have some sort of way to pick off maybe some of the stragglers, the squishier heroes, and enable your team fight quite heavily. But Polaris, to their credit, they're playing around each other quite heavily. CML obviously not wanting to be the one that gets picked off first, with that borrowed time being put onto cooldown. But he just needs to be playing around the important heroes right now.
Looking to jump Nico. So without the BKB, toss back further away from the Citizens, but it gives Nico an opportunity for the War Stomp. He's still going to get ripped apart. He doesn't have the armor to take these engagements. And back? Doesn't get far enough distance. Polo's still with the Ravage on cooldown, but it's not going to matter. Another toss back from Alacrity, playing the Tiny. So phenomenal level.
That was just a big miscommunication. You know, you had the Abaddon standing around the area. He was looking to D-ward. You had Mac doing other things. Yeah, D-warding a lot closer to the rest of the team. I was just complimenting the position of the Abaddon there, but he wasn't able to get off the Aphotic Shield to prevent the tossback.
Middle tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is
Gonna give up a very early tier 2 tower middle as well, so this will give a lot of map control. Are they... Alright. They want to go high ground.
The dragon form. Yeah, 20 seconds. Why not?
They've got Ravage at the ready. Hey, just for another 2 minutes as well. But it looks like without the Crete Wave, they might have to reset. They've still got a lot up the map to claim, bounties, outposts as well, and just further accumulating a lead.
It's getting to the stage where Weaver might not even have Ags by the end of this game. It's been going that well for Galaxy Racer. The memes will always triumph, Lockie.
I feel like I'm furthering my understanding of this. I think our time casting together, I think I've learned that the memes are too superior, and if you don't go with the memes, then what type of person truly are you?
I wouldn't trust anyone that doesn't trust memes.
I just... honestly, it feels like they'd kill their own mother. Like, I don't know, that's not the type of person I want to hang around with. You don't like memes, and... I don't know, man. You're just not the type of friend for me.
What do you live for?
It's only memes.
Keep the pushing forward, exactly, right? 3.5 minutes left on that that glyph of fortification, so they can just leave in your dream there on the front lines. They smoke behind. Not going to be revealed because it's at night time and they don't have vision just there of where they were looking to make that smoke happen, but they're looking to try and get a quick pick off on Natsumi in the meantime. At least he's got CML around, but it's going to need to be some really quick fingers here on the Abaddon.
They need their BKBs. Polaris have to get out.
Well, sorry, CML, you're not gonna.
Nico... Okay, well, he'll at least not be scouted. He'll make him work for it. Bro? Get a creep. Oh, get the last hit. Come on. Yes!
Got it.
64 goal! That's a smoke. Sentry picked up. Very nice, very nice. Okay, yeah, Radiant really need their blinks. Nico's almost about 3k gold. The Luna, I believe, just completed hers. Yeah, Natsumi's got hers. And Mac is got Aghanims as well. So if they can, they might look for a smoke in the next minute. Maybe they might need 2 for the Doom to find it. And I think they can be in a position to fight. The question is like, do you Doom a position 5 tied? I feel like Ravage just completely cuts the fight in half. Like I think you've got the first duration of the fight before Ravage, and then afterwards, Galaxy Racer will just turn around and kill 2 heroes through that duration.
I don't think you Doom him, but I think you try and get just the chain lockdown. You don't care really that you overlap stuns. You know, you get the initial burst in onto him with the what's Creep's Centaur got at the moment? Has he got a Centaur? Yeah, okay. So sorry, what creep does Doom have? He's got the Centaur creep. You blink in, stomp. into the Earth Spike, into the Finger of Death, into the full Void Spirit combination, Lucent Beam, that should be enough to kill a position 5 Tidehunter while saving the Doom.
I guess they have
He's got buyback though, so he could just come back.
I guess you have the Aghanim's, of course, on Mac, who could just play that role. The Void Spirit does have a lot of mobility to hunt the back line, so this is going to be now off the back of how the wards are set up in the area for the next team fight, and of course more importantly his position as well. But what about Dire? Are they close to any timings for this next fight that's about to break out?
Blink Dagger closing in soon for In Your Dream. He doesn't have the Aegis anymore, with it just being reclaimed. Weaver's still a couple of components away from being able to pick up that Aghanim Scepter for himself, but he's closing in pretty damn fast, to be honest. This is the other thing, right? The position for Weaver, we saw it at the Oz scene. It enables this, right? You can play on the scariest side of the map without too much of a care in the world, because, you know, if they're committing to kill you, they need to bring at least 2, maybe even 3 heroes to do it. And, you know, you create a ton of space for the rest of your team. If they don't commit to you, you get this farm and you essentially become a 4th core. And then, you know, there's even the chance that you get away because of how elusive you are. And
it just offers up a lot of intel as well. Like, you can't make plays on Polaris if your bottom lane is shoved in like this. Like, it's going to be very obvious then with no one showing on the map. So there should be at least enough farm for Nico to almost complete the BKB after the next wave. But it's also like Dire. In Your Dream still hasn't popped his 9-second BKB. I believe also Mizu just completed his BKB as well. So we're going to have a huge fight breakout with all these items that have been accumulated.
100 gold away from Weaver, Pos 4 Ags. I'm excited. Are you excited?
I'm very excited. Polo's not what you want, though. Instantly blinking away. So they know that someone's smoked up, and so they're going to look to reset there from their positioning, and this is a big timing wasted for Radiant. They do have another smoke on CML. I don't believe... Oh, actually. In Your Dreams underneath the ward. Nico, instant jump in. Oh no, he got the BKB off before. So Dire trying to TP in. This is too far for Polaris. Now they're going to be cautious. They've overstepped the mark, and they'll be penalized for it. What a timing of the BKB. Polo's going to jump in as well. The damage, is the physical enough? Natsumi, he's outie, but CML won't be successful.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Looking to continue the push forward. Yeah, just slightly off the mark there with the Centaur Stomp meant that the BKB was able to be popped by the TA, preventing a lot of the damage from coming through, and yeah, eventually just diving a little bit too deep. You know, not everyone has the Scorched Earth, not everyone has the farm that Nico does on this Doom right now.
This is...
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
An Ags alert
Radiant structures
on
are
our
fortified.
Weaver.
Okay, so... I'm very worried they don't kill any key components in the next team fight. Because now you're going to have Aegis, which is in fact
Radiant's
respawning in
top tower
30.
has fallen.
You've also got, like you said, Weaver Aghanims, who... What's the cooldown? It's... My god, 20 seconds. Very cool. So you have to prioritize bursting one hero, but if Yokem is positioned perfectly, which he definitely can be with the movement speed in Sakuchi, I'm very worried for Polaris on how they're going to commit abilities and get nothing out of it.
I think he can even, maybe not this game, he could probably afford to go a bit greedier, but in your typical game when you're playing this position for Weaver, I think you can go a Blink Dagger after this, just because the range was reduced by a significant enough amount that I feel like you still need to be able to gap close while not putting yourself in a really dangerous position.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Radiant, they're looking to try and contest, but Roche it's about to fall.
His positioning as well. Pops the smoke.
Spot.
Perfect.
They know they're coming. In Your Dreams out of the pit. They're making sure they don't group up at the moment. Mizu looking to jump straight on top of Natsumi. Is then able to get the Eclipse off, but the damage is minimal at best thanks to all the BKBs. They'll lose Alacrity. A buyback instantly looking to rejoin the fight, but the Aegis on the deck. Mizu's able to claim it. Still Natsumi is doing so much work in a tight vicinity with the glaives bouncing back and forth. But now with the BKB expiring, the Luna just cannot stand her ground. But still, all of the back of the lineup. As Galaxy Racer will overwhelm Polaris inside the Roche pit. They'll make it a 5-man wipe and snag the Aegis on top of that.
Able to continue pushing on forward with Mizu. Part of all those kills, all that assist gold coming through, and he's nearly finished up his own Aghanim Scepter. So you're going to have the big black dragon coming through, starting to rip through the base. They don't even have the glyph to be able to defend against this. I mean, if TA's alive, it's, you know, calling GG territory. But at least there's not the Desolator to have to deal with. It's a lot, though.
Radiant's middle barracks are under attack.
Gonna be a big advantage now. It's unfortunate you don't give the Aegis to In Your Dream or even Alacrity, but you're happy with the fact that you got it. Who knows what could have happened if you gave that away. Your Cam is going blink. Okay, very good call. Right, they're still coming outside the base, and they got Doom available, so we didn't. Maybe that was a big reason why they couldn't take that team fight with the ultimate, and also Polison's positioning, like you were saying, to pop the smoke. And you know, this position 5 tied as feels like it's done everything for Galaxy Racer. Secured their safe lane, multiple team fight, huge ravages to turn it around, just popping smokes, and you know, the counter initiation as well. It's been on perfect. They are setting up for Natsumi. Okay, nice scan.
Oh, there's the blink. So now Weaver can just afford to play super defensively. I mean, the Swarm has such a long travel distance, and they even increase the travel speed as well. So he's going to be able to launch that from the very back of the team fight, and then look to blink, time-lapse, whoever he wants. It's so great that your spells are, like, enabling so much of your farm as well, right? Like, there's very little right-clicking he's doing. If he is, it's the extra damage coming through from the Geminate attack that's doing a lot of it, so you can afford to hold on to something like the Philosopher's Stone.
This is a long line drawn. Polaris, if they want an angle in, they're going to have to go for the full wraparound. It's going to take them quite some time, as Dire already looking to knock on the high ground. That's a aggressive TP. And they know the position. Looks like they, I guess, guessing where they're coming from because of Mac TPing there. Mizu, I mean, you can just siege for free. Got the
that
Aghanims.
25% magic community. So.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
And if he's the only one showing, you don't want to top Doom on him. Like, that's not the target you're looking to burst, especially with Weaver not being shown.
I liked the idea of the wraparound for Polaris. They're clearly, you know, thinking this through, but unfortunately, it just feels like the game's gotten to this stage where it doesn't matter what you do. You know, Galaxy Racer, they've been able to put this draft together that I don't want to say it's unbeatable, but you know, you haven't countered it by aggression, and it seems like it's costing them.
Can Luna get to that stage where she can somehow bring them back? Like, does she have a game where if she's really farmed, she might be able to do so?
I think it's going to be rough. Oh, even forcing the BKB to be popped. That's the sort of thing that a position 5 Tidehunter is able to bait out of you. Well, now I don't think she can. It was, you know, like a 2% chance previously. Speaking of percent chances, what does Dota Plus think? 98. Yep. Bang on.
Mizu's got 40 seconds on the Aegis.
And he's got 1 second on the cooldown of his Elder Dragon form.
Here comes the siege, and the answer doesn't seem to be there. Again, you don't want to drop the Doom on the target, so Nico needs an angle, but I believe they're just giving it up.
Radiant's top barracks
They're watching this happen. And then if anyone shows to try and, you know, push out another lane, they're just going to commit heavier on Galaxy Racer.
Trying to force reactions, Alacrity, there we go. Jump in, but all the AoE damage just means Boom is obliterated. Polison is going to have to try and reset his positioning. Mac's actually looking to go in, but Nico doesn't find a target. As Galaxy Racer are so aware, these key components just too far in the backline to make sure they don't get jumped.
He just gone at least, but that's level 20 now, picked up by Mizu.
Radiant's middle barracks are under attack.
They're just gonna chill it out, it looks like.
As well.
All these extra neutral items just to make this game that much easier.
I mean, in your dream, he literally, during that entire siege, was just sitting in meld along the tree line, just doing nothing, just watching the show. Got another wraparound attempted here by Polaris, but, you know, they're grouping up together on Galaxy Racer. They've got control of the high ground. There's no reason for anyone to leave it. And, you know, if there are going to dangle anyone out there, it's going to be Mizu. He thinks twice about it, though, wanting to go back towards the safety of his team and the objective that they're trying to take. They even just got a smoke into the enemy base. Oh, they're all out there waiting.
Coming back, toss into the Ravage, Mac, goodbye. It was good knowing you, brother, but you're down 50 seconds, no buyback, and your rack soon to join you as well. This is... Again, you're like, exactly what you said, just spectating. They'll lose another full set of barracks now. And they've got near...
Natsumi, he wanted to go into the butterfly just to be able to withstand against a lot of this physical damage, but the difficulty was Galaxy Racers were all around the triangle, so if he sent the courier there, it was probably just going to die, and you don't want all of that net worth for nothing.
Alacrity tossing back, Natsumi outside the base, so he's forced to pop the BKB. Mizu running down the beams right now. These are A-OK, and now, I mean, Natsumi just has to hope that CML can do it all on his lonesome self to protect the Luna, but the Doom is out. They'll target it through on In Your Dream, but again, got the BKB before the Doom. They'll toss him further back to safety as the Tiny's just winning them this fight with the replacement and the ability. Got some buybacks, having to pray here for Polaris that this is enough to turn it back around. As Max committed on forward once again, Alacrity will tear apart the backline, and In Your Dream will then deal with the rest of the heroes with ease. As the G's are dropped and Galaxy Racer, a masterclass performance here in this game one.
Coming through nicely. I mean, even in that last fight, not needing to use the time lapse until the very end as a bit of a celebratory tool. So the pos 4 Weaver, turns out it works pretty well.
Are you sure it was the Weaver, or is it just all the memes? That's the thing.
A bit of both. Column A, column B.
Oh, this column A, column B crap. Okay, I understand. At least I know what it means now.
Exactly. But, I mean, how do you go up against all of that minus summer? It felt like they were seriously lacking the damage. You called it early on, right? Like, do they drop the Doom onto the Tidehunter just to try and kill him? It felt like it got to that desperation stage where, you know, Nico had to do something in these team fights, but there just wasn't the right target to do so. So, really nice draft coming through from Galaxy Racer. And I'm starting to become a bit of a believer of this pos 4 Weaver. I think
after one game,
probably you could look to abuse a bit. I felt like it got way too much out there. I don't know how they were able to get the kill onto CML.
Yeah. There seems to be there were just some team fight executions that didn't go the way of Polaris. Like a couple times we saw the Doom. Again, it's Nico's best hero, but you know, maybe hasn't played it as much in the recent days. We just saw that first attempt on the TA where she got the BKB off by the top outpost, and they just kind of crumbled from there. They had all their abilities on cooldown, but they never felt like they could go 5-on-5 into Galaxy Racer with how strong they were, with the advantage they had, the early itemization. I mean, they had 5 blinks on Galaxy Racer, so you had multiple ways to start fights, and Alacrity's Tiny is proving to be a hero that is very difficult to deal with as well. That last fight just proved how, like, we are seeing, I'll say this, we are seeing like every team, it feels like, at the top 5 right now, having one person that is performing at a ridiculous level. SMG have Moon, Galaxy Racer have Alacrity on pretty much every spirit hero we're seeing. Yopaj is absolutely demolishing. It's just, they just look like they're on another level right now. A lot of the mid laners, the fact that he got multiple tossbacks on enemies to compromise their position, then a save on the Doom target, then he burst it down to the supports at that last fight. It was over by then, but I think just Galaxy Racer, again, another team that is also very good in the laning stage, like we saw him Motivate in the last series, where they can, with the heroes, you can get a very early lead, and they make sure they play a solid game of Dota and never make too many mistakes for the enemy team to come back. And that was the case here in this game. But Only time will tell. I mean, Polaris still a team that's looking to try and build up some of their synergy and their momentum as well. But this is an important series to be able to test if they can really make it into the upper brackets with the last couple of days remaining for the groups. But time will tell. So when we come back, we'll have game 2 underway.